Hey veterans, the mental health rating changes that you have been waiting on, that you've been expecting to come out, we thought was going to start in August. The VA didn't have that meeting, but they have come out and rescheduled. Looks like the implementation will be in December. And there's big financial news attached to this, a big impact, and stick around and learn about why that matters to you and what it really means, how it's going to impact you if you already have a claim, if you're already rated, if you are pending a claim, if you have an intent to file in. If you don't, I'm going to talk about all of that. So let's get into it with your mission brief. So here's what we're going to cover today. We're going to cover how we got here, the timeline since February 15th, 2022, where the rule stands and after the August delay, what's actually changing, including all of the different conditions and how they're impacted, what the government says this rule is really all about and why it matters, how this impacts veterans already rated, those with pending claims, and those with an intent to file, and finally the red flags to watch for to know when this is actually going into effect. So at Operation Veterans Edge, it is your claim, our mission. So get in touch with me today if you need help building your claim to get the rating that you deserve. I'm talking like complex kind of stuff that you're just having a hard time collecting and gathering and compiling the evidence, and you need some help. Reach out. I can help you. Okay, so how did we get here? February 15th, 2022, the VA issued a proposed rule 87 FR 8498. The period on that for comment closed in April 2022, and then this is the legal authority right here for what allows the Secretary of the Veterans Affairs to implement rules like this. And if you need help navigating a VA website, the VA website, to find things like your blue button report, click this video up here and go check that out if you've already learned about all the stuff I'm talking about. But stick with me and we'll learn a little bit more about 87 FR 8498 right here, which is, as I said, initiated in February 15th of 2022. The summary of that was that the Department of Veterans Affairs proposed to amend the portion of the rating schedule dealing with mental disorders, including revising the general rating formula for mental disorders and combining currently separate general rating formula for mental disorders with the general rating formula for eating disorders in the VA schedule for rating disabilities. So that means they're just taking it all, they're putting it into one general schedule, right? The proposed rule reflects changes made by the American Psychiatric Association's Diagnostic and Statistical Manual for Mental Disorders 5, also known as the DSM-5. Advances in medical knowledge and recommendations from the VA's Mental Disorders Work Group. All right, so our current status, it is September 2025. Final rule stage actually happened in spring of 2025 under the Unified Agenda. We expected that there would be a meeting for implementation in August of 2025. That was pushed. We didn't have a new date until just a few days ago, about a week ago, I guess. And our new projected date is in December 2025. So this is the doc from RegInfo.gov, and it shows you exactly this, the schedule for rating disabilities and mental disorders, final action right here. Check it out right there. Date says December 00, just generally December 2025. So that's when we expect the meeting to occur. And what's changing? Everything. So PTSD, including all others, depression, anxiety, schizophrenia, anything that could have ever been rated in the past is now going to change. And I'm going to get into exactly what that means for you here in just a second. The eating disorders formula is completely gone. Everything is now based on the DSM-5, right? So what is the government's stated goal with all of this? I'm going to give all of you just a second to think about that. What is the government's stated goal? Put it in the comments. What do you guys think? So it's an economically significant rule, and the VA projects cost reductions. What does that mean to us? Well, the estimated impact is over $100 million annually. That means over $100 million not going to veterans for mental health related conditions under the VA disability rating rules and compensation rules. So that's what that means. I know I've heard from a lot of you, and a lot of you said, and I was kind of under the same impression, that in some ways this might be beneficial, and in some ways it might. Some of you will continue, or those of you that deserve the rating based on these category within DSM, you're still going to get it. Some of you, this will be a much harder fight. You thought you might get a 50 or a 70. Now maybe you'll get a 30. Maybe you'll get a 10. But here, so this is the general rating formula for mental disorders right here. This is the new criteria. So what we have here, you see, is a 10, a 30, a 50, a 70, and a 100. What's missing is a 0. So there's no more 0. If you have one level 1 item on any of the domains, one level 1 condition in any of the domains, then you will get the minimum rating, which is a 10. If you have a level 1 in 2 or more domains, you'll get a 30. If you have a level 2 in 1 domain, you will get a 50. If you have a level 3 in 1 domain, or a level 2 in 2 or more domains, you will get a 70. And it sounds easy, right? Wait till we get into this. It's not that easy. Level 4 in 1 or more domains, or a level 3 in 2 or more domains, is a 100. So what are the domains? We'll go through two here, 2 after this, and then 1 to complete the total of 5. The first domain is cognition. Second domain is interpersonal interactions. For cognition, cognition may include, but is not limited to, memory, concentration, attention, goal setting, speed of processing information, planning, organizing, prioritizing, problem solving, judgment, making decisions, or flexibility in adapting when appropriate. And then your levels here, you have a 0 is a none. You're not going to get a rating for that. But if you have a 1 in 1 domain, remember you can get a 10%, which is mild impairment at any frequency, or moderate impairment that occurs less than 25% of the time. 2 is a moderate impairment that occurs 25% or more of the time, or severe impairment that occurs less than 25% of the time. 3 is severe impairment that occurs 25% of the time or more of the time, or total impairment that occurs less than 25% of the time. And then a 4, total impairment that occurs 25% or more of the time. So it's most likely most veterans reside with their mental health conditions are going to reside in the 1s. You'll have some that reside in 2s, very fewer in 3 and 4. A lot of these criteria sound a lot alike, so I'm just going to cover the criteria for here in cognition, and then we'll jump into interpersonal and everything else, and we will skip this part. But so 0, none, that would be no difficulties in cognitive functioning is intact. Mild, which is a 1, would be slight difficulties in 1 or more aspects of cognitive functioning that do not interfere with tasks, activities, or relationships. Everything is measured in its interference with tasks, activities, and relationships, and at what level. Moderate would be clinically significant difficulties in 1 or more aspects of cognitive functioning that interfere with tasks, activities, and relationships. Severe, serious difficulties in 1 or more aspects of cognitive functioning that interfere. Again, you already know what it is. Total, profound difficulties in 1 or more aspects of cognitive functioning that cannot be managed or remediated. There's no helping. There's no medicine that's going to help. There's no therapeutic effort that's going to help. Going to the psychologist, that doesn't help. Nothing's going to help. That's what that means. Incapable of even the most basic tasks within 1 or more aspects of cognitive functioning. Difficulties that completely interfere with, again, tasks, activities, or relationships. All right, so they all sound very similar to this for criteria and level of impairment. So we're going to skip that for the rest of these. You kind of get the idea. But the next domain is interpersonal interactions and relationships, which includes both informal, so friends and family, social associations, and formal, coworkers and supervisors. So you got cognition, you got interpersonal. Those are the first 2 domains. Again, here's the rating table. Right then, so for number 3, we have task completion and life activities. This may include, but not limited to, following types of activities: vocational, so work; educational; domestic, social, and caregiving. So work, going to school and doing well; working around the house, taking care of stuff there; your social life; and then taking care of others in terms of tasks. There's also then navigating is domain 4. That means navigating environments. So that may include, but is not limited to, the following, which is leaving the home. Are you afraid to leave the house? Being confined or in crowded spaces, crowded spaces, independently moving in surroundings, navigating new environments, driving, or using public transportation. If you're terrified of being outside and you're terrified of getting from point A to point B, or you have any kind of anxiety when it comes to that, you might have some kind of impairment in the navigating functions domain. All right, again, if you want to pause here, you can look at this. So for how many of each level you need to have to reach 10, 30, 50, 70, or 100. All right, and then self-care. Self-care is the 5th domain, and this means things like hygiene, so getting clean; dressing appropriately and taking in nourishment, so feeding yourself. So that's the 5 domains. Again, we talked about it in that last video I did, where I talked about all these changes. What is the impact on current ratings? This is what a lot of you want to know. So if you are going to be a future claim filer, the new rule will apply to you. Bottom line. If you have an existing rating, meaning you are currently rated, the VA cannot retroactively reduce you, so don't worry. But if you are trying to go from a 10 to a 50 or up to a 70, or whatever the case may be, you're going to go poke the bear, as they say, and you're going to open that claim. You need to be ready for this new rating criteria. If you're going to do that and you think that it's legitimate, reach out to me and see if we can make something work for you. Before this happens, let's get that intent to file in. Let's get you on the right track to get you what you deserve if you haven't already gotten what you deserve. There's a lot of you out there who might have things like depression and anxiety tied to musculoskeletal pains that are legitimate, that you have from when you were in the service in the 1980s or Desert Storm era, and you hurt and it's caused anxiety in your life, and you just were like, I don't deserve this. But then over time you talk to people and you realize you do, or whatever your story may be. There's lots of you out there. I talk to you all the time. I see this regularly. You deserve a rating. If that is the case, if you have legitimate injuries, conditions tied to your service, and then you have mental health challenges like anxiety or depression that are tied to those, that is a secondary condition and you deserve it. Let's get it done before it's too late. So get in touch. But if you want to talk more about or learn more about supplemental claims, check out this video that I'm going to put up here somewhere here in a minute and learn more about them in that video. But impact on current ratings, yeah. So if you have an existing rating, VA cannot retroactively reduce. And if you have a pending claim, that's a big one. If you have a pending claim, the VA must apply whichever rating criteria is most favorable to you. So you are also in a good position if you believe that this new criteria is not going to be helpful for you. And then the rules and regulations surrounding that, right here, ultimately these 2 blocks here codify that the new rule cannot reduce or alter payment before the effective date. Ultimately, this is in your favor. It's also in the VA's favor, in that if they came up with something that were more favorable for veterans that were already rated, there is a time window that can be applied to anybody, and it protects the VA and it protects you if you're already rated. So yeah, more on the pending claims. Ultimately, both the old and new criteria must be considered, and according to M21-1, adjudicators must compare old versus new criteria and apply whichever result in a higher benefit. For those of you with an intent to file, or how about this? For those of you who do not have an intent to file, but you do plan on filing a claim and you keep kicking your own can down the road, get your intent to file in. Get in touch with me. Let's get it started for you. That intent to file, the effective date is the date the VA received your intent to file. And now, all of this gives some jargon that would tell you that yeah, but it's not real until you file it, whatever. But the bottom line is, if you have an intent to file in, and you do that now, then that intent to file will lock you into the current rating scheme, or at least to put you in the category that of you could have both, right? But ultimately, this criteria is probably going to benefit you the most. All right, what to watch out for moving forward? What are the red flags? So, regulation info changes on reginfo.gov, the pending review status changing, Federal Register final rule publication. We're looking for new VA guidance, M21-1 updates, and changes to ECFR on 4.130. Yeah, that's a mouthful. So, Operation Veterans Edge, I'd love to take care of you. I'd love to help you out. If you need help with a VA claim and building your claim out and putting together all that evidence, I'm happy to help you do that. There's a lot of good companies out there that do work like this. One thing that sets me apart, and some of them will do this too, but one thing that sets me apart, I'm a small team. Eventually, I'm going to have a big team, but right now I have a small team. And what that means for you is you're talking to me most of the time. When you're talking, I've got a small team, so you will talk to others sometimes, but most of the time you're talking to me, and I take calls late. Like, I know that there are some of those groups out there right now that they'll say, "Oh, we're not going to talk to you past 5 on our time zone." Well, that's not me. I will talk to you. Are you in Hawaii? We'll set something up. Are you in Indonesia? We will set something up. We will make time for you. We'll make time to talk about your case. We will treat you with the respect you deserve, unbiased. The only thing is that I don't do BS claims. I won't help anybody that comes to me that doesn't deserve it, and I know that most of you do. So that's not usually a thing, but every now and then I get a BS claim trying to come through, and I spot it right away. You can smell it 1,000 yards away, and it's kind of sickening. So don't come to me with that. But if you have a legitimate claim and you want to get your claim won, please by all means talk to me. Reach out to my team. You can call me. You can text me once we team up, and I'm going to make it work for you. So I'm Chris at Operation Veterans Edge, and I'm looking forward to talking to you. So reach on out. Thanks. Bye.